Hello Formula 1 and IndyCar fans. Welcome to Formula Pun Racer. I'm your host, Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders. I hope you all had a wonderful New Year's, even though it's unfortunate the troubles with this COVID-19 hassle are still not over yet. Still having its stranglehold on the world. All the same, with vaccinations starting to be administered to people left and right, here's hoping that this is a step closer to life going back to normal soon enough. By the same token, it is also unfortunate that 2021 has already got off to a rough start even before it even began, because back on the 30th of December, well, Mario Andretti's twin brother Aldo and John Andretti's father passed away to COVID-19. Yeah, it is unfortunate. And an unfortunate accident earlier in his life, ended his racing career, so who knows what could have been if this never happened. In fact, Aldo did stand in his brother's winning 1969 Indy 500 winning car for promotional pictures after he won, because Mario didn't want to be shown in the pictures because he had some burns on his face from a practice crash earlier that year. But at the same time, one could say that Aldo was Mario Andretti's charm. It is unfortunate that it has been a sucky year for the name Andretti in Indy cars back in 2020. And with the loss of Aldo Andretti, it is very unfortunate, and to the Andretti family, we're sorry for your loss, as well as for John as well before that. Very unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that around that same time, former IndyCar driver and sports car driver John Paul Jr. passed away from Huntington disease, but more saddening is the fact that just last week, around this time, three-time Indy 500 winning team owner Pat Patrick passed away at the age of 91. Pretty unfortunate indeed for Pat Patrick, whose team finished off in 2004, and it was a three-time Indy winner with Gordon Johncock twice in 73 and 82, even though the 1973 Indy 500 was the least memorable for natural reasons for those who know about it. A tragic accident and a lot of other things occurring. In 82, which was again won by Gordon Johncock because of his infamous duel with Rick Mears, and in 1989 with Emerson Fittipaldi in beating Al Unser Jr., and that was an amazing one. And at least that was a time when Emerson actually drank milk instead of that stupid orange juice of his. In any case, this is the only Pat Patrick model I have in my collection of Scott Pruitt in the 1998 kart season. Isn't it a beaut? And it was because of Scott Pruitt that in 1995, Pat Patrick would be the team to host Firestone's historic return to Indy cars to being a tire manufacturer alongside Goodyear. Eventually, though, Goodyear has disappeared from Indy cars. I never thought I'd miss that name in Indy cars, and now all we've got is Firestone. Also, in other news, I might have said in my last video for the year that the debut race for Formula 1 will begin in Melbourne, Australia. Well, once again, sorry to give off such a headache, but the pandemic has forced Australia to be near the end of the season. So who is going to host the beginning? Well, it is said March 28th will be in Bahrain once again. And St. Pete has been pushed back as well. I know, quite the headache. On top of it all, though, there is one good thing to come out of all this hardships, is the fact that for all you IndyCar diecast collectors out there, like me as I just showed you here, for you, though, collecting models from Greenlight, hallelujah, it is said that for 2021 that they will produce both speedway configuration and road course configured Indy cars with road course wings.
Thank God.
Thank God. And thank you, Greenlight, for listening to your customers on what you should be doing with your 1/18 scale IndyCar models. And it makes sense since the majority of the IndyCar season takes place on road street courses, so that's where the idea comes into play. And as a result, I can imagine myself buying more of your models as a result in the future because of the road course configurations. Thanks again, Greenlight. To get back to St. Pete, I said it was being pushed back, but I didn't say up until now when, by a month. But interestingly enough, it won't be hosting the first round of the season. No. Barber Park has cut it back to round number 2. Surprise! How do you like that, huh? While I said Barber Park is cutting St. Pete from round 1 to round 2, and Barber Park has cut its way in round 1, well, it looks like Barber Park cut my hair, as one barber to another. In IndyCar news, it seems that Santino Ferrucci is jumping ship from Dale Coyne Racing to NASCAR. Boom! So what does that leave Dale Coyne with now that Alex Palou of Spain has jumped from him to Chip Ganassi Racing for this year? Well, there have been talks recently that the slightly burnt French croissant known as Romain Grosjean may get a shot at the spot, but I wonder if his former Haas teammate, the Danish butter cookie Kevin Magnussen, could do the same. But at the moment, Magnussen is contracted to do some IMSA racing, so we'll see if we can get some Danes in IndyCars sometime soon. As for F1 news, it seems that while the pink BWT sponsorship is gone from Racing Point, which now has been renamed as Aston Martin, the car will be unveiled next month in February, and its primary sponsor will be an American digital company called Cognizant. Cognizant, for those who are wondering how to spell that. I don't really know much about it myself, but let's hope this American team, with backing from Canada's Lawrence Stroll, who fields his own son from Canada, Lance Stroll, and the German Sebastian Vettel, will this be a winning combo to take on Mercedes and Red Bull? And can Ferrari, with Carlos Sainz Jr. and Charles Leclerc, help regain the Italian stallion's former glory in dominating the sport? I'm just sorry that once again the idea of Ferrari going IndyCar racing has fallen through. Boo! 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 Screw you, Ferrari, for thinking that way. I really think you ought to do it because you'd make a lot of people happy, me especially, and the only things that could come out of Ferrari going IndyCar racing is good. Well, what can I say? If you feel like you want to stay glued to F1, suit yourself. But that's just my 2 cents on the idea. And with Sergio Perez now having a seat at Red Bull, taking over Alex Albon, as I said in my last video, can the Mexican charge like a Red Bull to give Red Bull some victory? And here's hoping that by the same token, assuming the pandemic doesn't take the last word in the world again, hopefully the Mexican Grand Prix this year will take place as planned on October 31st, 2021. But also the Chinese Grand Prix has been cancelled, as well as the Vietnamese GP because of the pandemic. Oh. Ugh! Imola is slated to replace China, so let's see how that fares. But it'll be interesting to see how testing at Bahrain before the race at Bahrain starts, so as long as FIA use their Bahrains to make sure everyone stays safe, even though Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris has been recently diagnosed with COVID-19, here's praying they make a full recovery, they will use their Bahrains wisely so they can hopefully get back in the car and race in Bahrain. Well, once again, my condolences to the families of Pat Patrick, Aldo Andretti, and John Paul Jr., who made his name in sports car racing, even though his name was tainted by his drug-trafficking father, John Paul Sr. I'm sorry about that. But was also renowned for snatching the Michigan 500 from Rick Mears in 1983. Is one of his biggest racing highlights, if you're wondering who he was. Well, that's it for now. The green flag flies March 28th in Bahrain for F1, April 11th, Barber Park, the green flag flies for IndyCars. Who will come out on top? And will Mercedes' contract with Lewis Hamilton be renewed soon enough? Let's find out. If you like my videos, please subscribe to Formula Pun Racer, share with your friends and whatnot. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.